Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
A hot, dry day tomorrow, today, but tomorrow we could be in for some severe storms. I'll show you the timeline.
One person is dead after a fire in this Chapel Hill home behind me. Coming up, I'll tell you just how long firefighters have been investigating.
And Durham Public Schools employees are rallying again today over pay issues. Coming up, how a newly proposed budget could cost millions more than last year.
Welcome in on your Thursday morning. Thanks so much for joining us, getting your day started with us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Renee Chu. Starting off with gorgeous sunshine and dry weather. Things will change for tomorrow. We want to give you a heads up on that. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with our severe weather risks for Friday.
We've been talking about this for the last couple of days. Yesterday, that level 1 risk covered more of our viewing area. Today, it's a little smaller area, but definitely the southern counties are where we'd be more likely to see any strong storms for tomorrow. Right now, we're looking at a cold front sliding across the area, pushing out all that cloud cover from yesterday. We're going to see a nice, bright, dry day. But another front comes in tomorrow to bring us that potential for some storms. At 9 a.m., we're mostly sunny to partly cloudy. A little bit of light rain in our western counties at noon. At 2 o'clock, there's a broken band that starts to develop, and as it slides eastward at around 3 or 4 o'clock, it intensifies slightly. So that's where we maybe have the best chance of seeing any severe storms with some wind damage. But you can see this is a narrow band. It doesn't cover the entire viewing area. It moves in and out, and it looks like we're done with it after that. So after 5 o'clock, we should be fairly dry, minus an isolated shower or two. So you can go about whatever your plans were on Friday, and it looks like it should stay pretty good. For Fayetteville, looking at clear skies, lots of sunshine. Temperatures are in the mid-60s in the Triangle. Our winds will be, say, 5 to 10 miles per hour today out of the southwest, keeping those warm temperatures in place. Right now, temperatures are mostly in the low to mid-60s, some upper 60s in a few spots. It'll be a quick warm-up. We'll see a high of 87 degrees, one of the warmest days that we've seen so far this spring, with lots and lots of sunshine. We're about to change things up to much cooler temperatures over the weekend and early next week. I'll show you what's changing. Coming up, Ken.
All new, Elizabeth, at 8:02. We just got word of a crash on Arundel Avenue at East Judd Street. It just happened, so we're working to get more information about it. Another crash we've been following this morning happened on 87 in the southbound lanes near Smithfield Road. You can see our sensors picking up quite a bit of delay there on southbound 87. With that in mind, I want to take you out there now and give you a live look at what's happening there at I-87 at Smithfield Road. You can see the southbound lanes. Traffic has picked up quite a bit. We'll keep monitoring this to give you exactly what's going on. Another traffic crash we've been following this morning. This is usually a trouble spot in the morning along I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. This crash happened in the eastbound lanes of I-40 near Lake Wheeler Road. You can see our sensors are picking up some delays right there in that area. We'll continue to monitor these crashes and let you know in the next 10 minutes.
Ken, thank you. Breaking news, a person is dead after fire broke out in a home in Chapel Hill. Crews were called to the scene around 1:30 this morning. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL breaking news tracker. And Nick, firefighters still there on the scene. It's sad to learn that that person wasn't able to make it out.
Yeah, that person was found dead inside the home behind me. And when firefighters arrived here at around 1:30, they say the home was completely engulfed in flames. And as you can see, there's just not much left of it. It's just a really sad scene here early this morning. I'm going to step behind the camera and give you a better look at some of this damage that we're seeing right now. I'm just going to zoom in real quick, and you can see the front part of the home is just completely burnt up. The wooded part of it is completely dark and just burnt up due to the fire. And it also looks like part of this area right by the stairs over here, it looks like part of the home was even toppled over during the fire. So that'll just give you an idea of just how massive this fire is. Chapel Hill Fire Department is still on scene right now. They're trying to investigate what exactly caused this fire. We're going to stay on top of this one all morning, and once we have that information, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Chapel Hill, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Today, Durham Public Schools employees will get their chance to address a newly proposed budget. This all comes after a pay dispute that's lasted months. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is outside the Durham Schools Administration building. And Kelsey, these employees, they'll get a chance to speak at a public hearing happening this evening.
Michelle, they will. And before that, the Durham Association of Educators have planned a rally. So it'll happen before that meeting that's going to be here in the administration building. And employees are protesting overpay again. Just last month, they rallied demanding higher salaries. Employees' recent push led to cancel classes for multiple days. Tonight, the board will review a newly proposed budget. Interim Superintendent Kathy Moore is requesting $8 million. It would fund salaries for classified staff. That's people like therapists, teachers' assistants, and transportation staff. Board Chair Bettina Umstead says this request is a big ask. County leaders would have to give the school system $26 million more than they did last year. We'll be sure to stay on top of this tonight and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Today, former President Donald Trump will again be in a New York courtroom. The first criminal trial against him resumes this morning. Prosecutors and Trump's attorneys will be working to finish jury selection. 7 jurors were seated on Tuesday. Today, they'll be interviewing 96 more people who could end up on the jury or as alternates. Trump criticized the jury selection process Wednesday in a post to Truth Social. He says his attorneys are not being allowed enough strikes to block potential jurors from being seated. Now, under New York law, each side has an unlimited number of strikes for cause. The judge presiding over the case can decide whether the cause is worthy of a strike.
Highway Patrol is looking for the driver responsible for a deadly hit and run in Johnston County. Troopers have identified the woman who died as 43-year-old Jennifer Penn. She was hit on Old Stage Road near Angier just before 10 o'clock Tuesday night. Authorities are looking for a dark or black Jeep Wrangler with damage to the front. And a man wanted in connection to the shooting death of his children's mother is now facing a murder charge. Deputies arrested Scotty Tyler of Robeson County during a traffic stop in Lumberton. He is charged with killing 36-year-old Lydia Hoyos of Roland. She was found shot to death inside her home Sunday morning. Tyler and Hoyos had 2 children together.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion policies and jobs could be scrapped at UNC system schools. A committee of the Board of Governors unanimously voted to take the changes up to the full board for a decision. UNC Chapel Hill students we spoke with say DEI policies and jobs have enhanced their college experience. Junior Camila Perez wants to see them stay.
And I really hope there's a lot of open discussion in regards to the benefits that DEI brings and any programs like that, just because right now I feel like there's so much stigma and there's so many stereotypes.
Governor Cooper and former UNC system president Tom Ross have both spoken out against the changes. Cooper said Republican legislative and university leaders who attack diversity at our public universities are failing in their duty to protect students while threatening our ability to recruit top scientists, researchers, and innovators who power our economy. The entire Board of Governors could take up the changes next month.
We're getting used to seeing our favorite college athletes move between schools. It's called the transfer portal, and now the NCAA is making it even easier for players to switch teams. A new rule change will allow student athletes to make unlimited transfers and play immediately at their new schools. Previously, they could only do that once. Then they would need to sit out a year if they transferred again. WRAL Sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy says while this gives new opportunities to players, it brings challenges for coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough on coaches, right? Not only do you have to recruit a player, you have to re-recruit him. I mean, you have to keep him on your campus.
And fans will at least be able to get attached to players for a full season. Players will not be able to play for 2 different teams within the same season.
Get ready, Caniacs. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here again. Just 2 days away, the puck drops at 5 Saturday afternoon for Game 1 of the Canes' first round series against the New York Islanders. The Canes will host here in Raleigh at PNC Arena. The series will be a rematch of the first round matchup between the teams last season. The Canes took down the Islanders in 6 games in that series. The full schedule for this year's first round will come out tonight once all the league's regular season games end.
Coming up in Australia, a mall is back open after a weekend stabbing spree. How the community is coming together to honor the victims.
And last year saw the most billion-dollar weather disasters ever recorded in the country. Why the future could hold economic troubles brought on by climate change.
And today is dry and hot, but tomorrow we have the chance of some afternoon and evening thunderstorms. And then again, Sunday looks wet. I'm going to walk you through the timeline for the weekend so you'll know how to plan around it coming up.
Welcome back on your Thursday, your Friday Eve. This is a gorgeous look over Fenton and Cary. That's going to be a pretty hot spot to be today, I think, because the weather is going to be so gorgeous. Summer-like conditions today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has a look around town. I mean, we're talking mid to upper 80s.
It's going to be a hot one. You know, in July, it would also feel like super muggy. But the nice thing about this time of year is that we don't usually have that, really heavy humidity that we see a little later on as we get into the summer. So today will be like that, a little breezy, hot, but not terribly humid. We take a look at Goldsboro looking gorgeous, Apex, Chapel Hill, all completely clear. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. And of course, there's our Fayetteville newsroom on Hay Street. We've been watching the severe weather threat, the severe thunderstorm, the Storm Prediction Center put it out yesterday for most of the viewing area and then pulled it back a little bit for today. I do think that we'll have some scattered storms from the Triangle area southward as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. Let's talk about then what happens. So we start this wetter pattern tomorrow with that chance of a few isolated storms in our southern counties. As we get into Saturday and Sunday, we'll be watching a low developing along this front. The best chance for rain over the weekend is going to be Sunday afternoon and then Sunday night. We will see a much cooler pattern too starting Saturday as this system starts to take shape. Tomorrow morning, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. We'll see a few showers by lunchtime. Early afternoon, we may see a broken line from Durham to Fayetteville, and then by 3 or 4 o'clock, it shifts to our eastern counties and then right on out of here. So we may see a line forming. So again, some of those southern counties could have some heavy rain, some blustery winds, possibly reaching severe criteria, which would be 57 miles per hour or stronger. But we're not looking at that being very widespread. Once that moves on by, that may be the end. I mean, there's the potential for another isolated shower, but it should free folks up for whatever plans they have on Friday evening. Saturday at lunchtime, variably cloudy. Hopefully we'll see a little sunshine peeking through. And then after that, we'll see some cloudy skies through the afternoon. This is a different look of our computer models where it stays nice and dry for us late on Saturday. Then Sunday morning, we're looking dry, but as we head through the afternoon, notice how that rain starts to fill in. So Sunday afternoon is looking wet. Sunday night, maybe some heavier rain, especially in our southern counties. So for tomorrow, 40% chance of storms. Saturday, only 20%. We're really looking much drier Saturday, and then an increasing chance for rain on Sunday, especially during the afternoon. Half an inch to an inch, but in some places we may see some heavier rainfall totals, especially in our southern counties on Sunday night. We see cooler temperatures too, 75 on Saturday, 63 then on Sunday. We warm back up Tuesday and Wednesday, but we have some chilly mornings in our forecast, both Monday and Tuesday, Ken.
Elizabeth, at 8:15, we're just getting reports of a crash on I-440 and Hammond Road. We thought we'd show you the traffic camera on that area. We're not seeing the crash on this camera, and we're also not seeing any major delays happening in the eastbound lanes as well, but we'll keep monitoring that. Just about 10 minutes ago, we told you about that crash on Arundel Avenue there in the Zebulon area. Now we can show you exactly how that crash is impacting the traffic in that area, and you can see from our sensors we're not seeing any major delays in any of the lanes there in that area of town. We've been monitoring this crash on 87 South on Smithfield Road. Initially, it was causing quite a bit of backup, but right now you can see from our sensors, it's still doing the same thing in the southbound lanes. We'll go ahead and take you out there and show you a live look now at I-87 and at Smithfield Road. And you can see the major backup happening in the southbound lanes. We'll, of course, to keep you monitoring here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Thank you, Ken. A shopping center in Australia is allowing people inside again after a mass stabbing on Saturday. The Westfield Bondi Junction is not open for business. Instead, it's allowing the community inside to pay tribute to the victims and reflect on the tragedy. 18 people were stabbed. 6 lost their lives before the suspect was shot and killed by police.
A particularly emotional finish at the Boston Marathon this week. Patrick Clancy ran the race in honor of his 3 young children murdered by his wife, who suffered a mental health emergency. Clancy ran the marathon with their names written on his back. He helped raise more than $73,000 for Miles for Miracles, a program that supports Boston Children's Hospital. A man who pleaded guilty to kidnapping a 9-year-old girl from a campground in New York now faces 47 years in prison. Craig Ross pleaded guilty last month to kidnapping the girl from a state park near the Hudson River last September. Her disappearance sparked a massive search. A break in the case happened when law enforcement saw someone placing a ransom note in the girl's family's mailbox. Fingerprints on the note matched Ross's. The girl was later found in a camper where Ross was staying. The Department of Justice has agreed to pay over $100 million to the victims of former USA Gymnastics team Dr. Larry Nassar. An internal investigation found that FBI agents mishandled abuse allegations by women more than a year before Nassar was arrested in 2016. The money will go to more than 100 victims who filed claims back in 2022. Nassar is serving life in prison.
A growing number of scientists say the warming planet is fueling more extreme weather events around the world. But besides heightening the potential risks for a weather emergency, a new study finds that changing climate could also be spelling economic trouble for your wallet in the near future. Sean Langiel takes a closer look.
Some scientists continue sounding the alarm.
It seems like the weather has gone crazy around the world.
Citing how human-caused climate change from greenhouse gas emissions is only causing the planet to become warmer, fueling more extreme weather in the U.S. and around the world.
As the world warms, the areas that get wet will get wetter, and the areas that get dry will get drier, and sometimes some places will get both.
Altering weather patterns could also be exposing more Americans to intense storms, as scientists say tornadoes typically impacting states in the Great Plains appear to be creeping further east.
Western Kansas, western Nebraska, western Oklahoma, they're just running a little bit drier. And so your precipitation has shifted east a little bit. Well, we've also seen a higher frequency of tornadoes.
But extreme weather is also proving costly. The latest data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reveals the nation was hit with a record number of billion-dollar weather disasters back in 2023. And the economic damage from climate change is only expected to worsen as time goes on. According to a new study from the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research, climate change is expected to reduce future global income by roughly 19% in the next 25 years.
The losses are staggering. They're into the millions of dollars.
The monetary impacts from storms are already being felt in the U.S. In Vermont, for instance, hundreds of farms are still recovering from last summer's severe flooding. It's causing headaches ahead of this year's growing season.
They've got to make up for all those losses somehow.
And that was Sean Langiel reporting.
Toyota is recalling thousands of vehicles because of issues with vehicle doors. Nearly 200,000 2023 and 24 Prius and Prius HEV hybrids are being recalled globally. Toyota says the rear door could open unexpectedly when the car is still or in motion. It will replace the faulty door opener switches for free, and people will be notified by mail by June. If your job is not very demanding, it could put you at risk of cognitive decline and dementia when you're older. A new study analyzed data from 7,000 Norwegians who were followed from when they were 30 until they retired in their 60s. It found that having a job that's not very mentally stimulating was linked to a 66% higher risk of mild cognitive impairment. There was also a greater risk of dementia. That's compared with having a job with high demands. In short, your work is really important for your cognitive health.
Officials in China and the U.S. are looking into a scam that cost an NC State student tens of thousands of dollars. The scam was reported April 10th. That's when NC State police performed a welfare check on the student after family reported the student had been acting strangely and had withdrawn large sums of money. The student told police they were the victim of a dating agency scam. Experts say the number of these scams exploded in 2020 and are continuing to get more common.
Because it's so unexpected, right? You would never think this wrong number text could lead you to be defrauded out of your life savings. But that is actually what we're seeing happening.
Officials from the U.S. Treasury Department interviewed the students, and the investigation has been turned over to law enforcement in China, where the student is from.
Just ahead of the summer travel season, American Airlines is offering a new luxury experience for travelers. The airline is rolling out new dining options on all domestic and international flights. It's also adding suite seats on more than 300 international and transcontinental flights. A puppy is safe after crews rescued her from a well in California. The dog fell down a 70-foot well in Fresno County. Crews were able to rescue her after several hours. The puppy, believed to be a Husky Shepherd mix, has a broken leg but is expected to be okay.
Oh, glad they were able to rescue her. Well, new restrictions are coming to the most popular app in the nation. Coming up, how TikTok is keeping problematic posts from appearing on your For You page.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning and happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Weather-wise, today is going to be beautiful summer-like conditions, but we are focused on tomorrow, where some areas have a level 1 risk for severe storms. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking that for us.
Yeah, after a quiet day today, tomorrow afternoon, we may see some scattered storms in our southern counties where we have that level 1 risk. Here's a look at the timeline. Most likely between 2 and 4 o'clock, just a little broken line. It moves through. 1 or 2 of those storms could produce some isolated wind damage. Doesn't look like it's going to be a major outbreak for us by any means. Pretty day today, 64 in Durham and in Raleigh, 67 Fayetteville. Lots of sunshine everywhere. Humidity stays low, but those temperatures will be high. Highs in the upper 80s this afternoon. Walking the dog right after work, we're still in the mid 80s, Ken.
Elizabeth, all new at 8:27, we just got reports of a crash that happened in the westbound lane on I-40 near Jones Sausage Road. Right now, our sensors are not picking up any major traffic delays in that area, but we'll, of course, continue to watch it and just keep you posted as to what's going on. Another crash we've been following over in the Zebulon area on Arundel Avenue in the southbound lanes. This is accident that's happening near the Dogwood Drive area. Right now, you can see from our sensors, we're not picking up any major traffic delays, but we are picking up some in parts of the Zebulon area. But we'll keep monitoring it for you here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
All right, thanks, Ken. One person is dead after a house fire in Chapel Hill. It happened on Rogerson Drive early this morning. Firefighters say the home was engulfed when they arrived. We are still waiting to learn the cause of the fire and the identity of the person who died. And next on Fox 50, ADHD medicine is in short supply. What pharmacists are recommending parents do to get their kids medicine. And coming up next on Today, Orlando Bloom live in Studio 1A.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number 1 source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Hot and dry today, but tomorrow we'll see a round of thunderstorms, mainly in our southern counties, and we could see a few severe storms. We have a level 1 risk in our southern counties. I'll walk you through the timeline.
The fight for better pay for Durham Public School employees continues today. How the newly proposed budget could affect their pay. It is 8:30, a lot to tell you about here on this Thursday. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Thanks for joining us. Beautiful summer-like conditions today, but we're talking about tomorrow because a lot of people have the risk for some severe storms. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner here to tell us who and how severe those storms could get, Elizabeth.
You know, a level 1 just means that we could have a handful of storms that reach severe criteria, which would be 58 miles per hour or stronger in terms of the wind. But we're looking at Raleigh southward and westward. It's less of the viewing area than it was yesterday. The Storm Prediction Center pulled some of the counties out of it. So it really looks like it's going to affect our southern counties more than anything. We're nice and clear today, hot temperatures, highs in the upper 80s, and then we'll wake up to some sunshine again tomorrow morning. But by lunchtime, we start to see some showers rolling into our western counties. A few isolated showers and storms develop from Durham to Fayetteville around 2 o'clock, and around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, that line becomes a little more well-formed between Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Goldsboro, and then slides on out of here. So that may be our best chance of seeing a storm or two that could produce some strong winds. After that, beyond 5 o'clock, there could be an isolated shower that pops up, but look how dry it looks for the evening. That's good news if you have plans to be outside on Friday evening. Right now, we're looking at clear skies in Durham, 64 degrees. The temperature with a southwest wind at 5 miles per hour. Temperatures are mostly in the mid to upper 60s at this point heading out the door, but it's a quick warm up to 80 at lunchtime. We'll climb into the upper 80s for this afternoon. After today, temperatures will be on their way down. You may be surprised at how cool it will be this weekend with a changing weather pattern. I'll show you in just a few minutes. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're working to get more information from our 911 dispatch friends there about this crash that happened on the I-40 westbound lanes near Jones Sausage Road. Right now, sensors are not picking up any traffic delays in the eastbound or westbound lanes of I-40 near Jones Sausage Road, but we'll continue to monitor that and keep you updated. Another crash we've been monitoring this morning, probably in the last half hour, happened in the Zebulon area. This is North Arundel Avenue, southbound near the Dogwood Drive. Again, we're looking at these sensors, and it's not picking up any major traffic backups in that area. Probably if you run into any backups and you're heading that way right now, it's probably just people stopping to see exactly what's going on. But we'll keep monitoring this to let you know exactly what's going on in that area. In terms of drive times heading into Durham, not very little to no delays, maybe just coming in from NC 50, about a 6-minute delay on Highway 98, coming in westbound of Wade Avenue, about a 4-minute delay. But otherwise than that, free flowing out there.
All right, thank you, Ken. A person is dead after a house fire in Chapel Hill. It happened on Rogerson Drive earlier this morning. Firefighters say the home was engulfed when they got there. We are still waiting to learn the cause of the fire and the identity of the person who died.
People who work in Durham Public Schools will get a chance to address next year's budget today. They've been rallying for months in hopes of better pay. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey shares many plan to speak at tonight's public hearing and also before that.
The Durham Association of Educators have planned a rally tonight. That will happen before the board's meeting here at the administration building. Employees are protesting over pay again. Just last month, they rallied demanding higher salaries. Employees' recent pushback led to canceled classes for multiple days. Tonight, the board will review a newly proposed budget. Interim Superintendent Caddy Moore is requesting $8 million. It would fund salaries for classified staff. That's people like therapists, teachers, assistants, and transportation staff. Board Chair Bettina Umstead says this request is a big ask. County leaders would have to give the school system $26 million more than they did last year. We'll stay on top of what comes out of this tonight and keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Durham.
Today, jury selection resumes in the hush money trial against former President Donald Trump. Prosecutors and Trump's lawyers need to find 5 more jurors after they seated 7 on Tuesday. If Trump testifies once the trial gets started, prosecutors say they will want to use his past legal run-ins against him. In a court filing, prosecutors say they'll ask Trump about the recent verdict in the civil fraud trial, including what they say was false testimony. They also plan to question him about the defamation case brought on by E. Jean Carroll. Other topics listed in the filing are his company's 2022 tax fraud conviction and his lawsuit against Hillary Clinton that was dismissed. The judge plans to hold a hearing to determine what prosecutors are allowed to ask. That hearing could happen as early as tomorrow if all of the remaining jurors are seated today.
A new report finds North Carolina's public pre-kindergarten programs are making a comeback. The report by the National Institute for Early Education Research ranks the state 29th for public pre-K programs. The institute looked at several aspects of each state's pre-K program, from enrollment and funding to class sizes and other measures of quality. Pre-K enrollment in North Carolina was up during the 2023 school year. It's still not back to where it was in 2020 during the pandemic. WRAL's education insider Emily Walkenhorst says COVID-19 fears and shutdowns stopped some parents from sending their kids back to preschool.
A lot of people just weren't enrolling their children in pre-kindergarten. They were keeping their kids at home. You know, if they had to pay tuition, they were kind of saving their money.
North Carolina ranks 19th when it comes to pre-K spending on a per-child basis, while spending less in 2023 than it did the year before. At the same time, North Carolina got high marks in pre-K quality. Researchers ranked it among the top 13 states in that category. You can read more about the report on North Carolina's pre-K programs in the education section of WRAL.com.
A vote on banning TikTok could be coming as soon as Saturday on Capitol Hill. That's where you're looking live this morning. That bill and a foreign aid bill stand a good chance of passing now that two powerful and unexpected allies are uniting behind them. House Speaker Mike Johnson is likely to get the Democratic votes he needs for his new aid package. President Biden is throwing his support behind the bills. They provide about $95 billion for Ukraine, Israel, and Indo-Pacific countries. Johnson wants to pass a potential ban on TikTok at the same time. It would keep the platform out of the U.S. app stores unless it cuts ties with its Chinese parent company. President Biden says he'll sign the bill if it passes.
This comes as the Kennedy family plans to endorse President Biden and Vice President Harris for re-election at an event today in Philadelphia. Kerry Kennedy will introduce the president before delivering remarks. The endorsement has been months in the making, according to a source familiar with the Biden campaign. 15 members of the Kennedys, including Robert F. Kennedy's siblings, will be at the event.
North Carolina parents who rely on ADHD medications for their children are finding them in short supply. That's leaving them struggling to get those prescriptions filled. Most insurance providers only cover the generic forms of the drug Vyvanse and Focalin, but pharmacies are having a difficult time stocking them. That has families who rely on the drug at the mercy of their insurance providers and the drug makers.
We pay $371 for a 30-day supply. So multiply that times 2, and that's what I'm paying every month for our medication.
So here's what pharmacists recommend if you do need this medicine. Let your pharmacist know at least a week early when you're coming to the end of your supply. Call your pharmacy before getting a prescription sent there to see if the medication is in stock, and also work with your doctor to see if there are alternative medications that you can take.
Today, you can learn more about how to become a Durham police officer. Durham Police is hosting a hiring event at headquarters from 6 to 7 tonight. You can learn more about the hiring process, salary and benefits, and training requirements. If you can't make it in person, you can also register through DPD to learn more through a Zoom meeting. From the notorious B.I.G. to ABBA, there are some new songs on the National Recording Registry. Coming up, the tunes the Library of Congress is calling national treasures.
Plus, Fantasia receiving another big honor just ahead, the moving dedication from Taraji P. Henson as she was named one of Time's 100 most influential artists.
And this is a live look at Franklinton as we head to break. Look at all that sunshine and blue sky. It's going to be mid to upper 80s today. Elizabeth Gardner will share which parts of our viewing area will have the greatest chance of severe storms tomorrow. Welcome back. It is 8:42 as we take you up to the Virginia-North Carolina border. Lake Gaston looking absolutely lovely at this hour with all that sunshine and blue skies. Our temperatures will get into the 80s once again. And Elizabeth, this is like lake and beach weather all day today.
It really is, and it won't be long before that water starts to warm up too with all these warm temperatures. It's going to be a hot one today with lots of sunshine. We could be near 90 degrees, looking officially at 87 in the Triangle, but 90 in Fayetteville. And coming up, we'll talk about how close that is to normal for this time of year. We're likely to see some spotty storms on Friday, especially in our southern counties. Between 2 and 4 o'clock looks like the most likely window, but I'll show you that on Futurecast. We'll see better chances for rain as we get into the day Sunday, especially from lunchtime into the afternoon. Some of that rain may be heavy on Sunday night. Our severe weather threat is from the Triangle area southward and westward. Yesterday, it was more of the viewing area, but the Storm Prediction Center pulled some of that back. And again, just mainly includes our southern counties. Here's Friday morning, partly cloudy skies. By lunchtime, we see a few light showers that start to approach the area. And by 2 o'clock, here comes a little line of thunderstorms. There's 3:30. This run of Futurecast running a little bit slower than the one that we saw last time. So still a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity for Raleigh southward at 5 o'clock, but it looks like it's out by around 6 o'clock. And then it rolls in another round of thunderstorms. Earlier, we were completely dry after that. So we may see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms afternoon and evening for tomorrow. In Durham right now, we're looking at mainly clear skies, 64 degrees, our current temperature. So it feels really nice. Our dew points are nice and low, which means that it'll feel comfortable. Even though it's hot, we won't have that summer-like humidity. humidity today. 87 in Raleigh and Durham, 90 in Fayetteville. We haven't hit 90 in Fayetteville just yet, but in the Triangle, we typically have our first 90-degree days normally on May 11th if you average it all out. So if we were to see 90 today, it would be about 3 weeks early. The earliest was March 12th, 1990. The latest, June 27th, 1983. Every time I show that, I think, wouldn't it be nice if we could just keep it until the end of June? Our pollen count is high for trees, oak, sweet gum, and poplar. We've seen the yellow pine pollen beginning to taper off. We may still have some high pollen counts until Sunday. Now, Sunday, with the chance of some showers, we're going to see much cooler temperatures, and it may drop our pollen counts some as well. Our normal high is 73. Of course, we're pretty warm today and tomorrow, and then we see those temperatures falling. And you can watch that happen across the country. The yellow and orange color contours are where temperatures are above normal and then below normal behind that for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before we see a little rebound. 75 Saturday, 63 on Sunday. So big drop with cloudy skies and some scattered showers developing. We could see those in our southern counties as early as lunchtime, and then that will spread northward during the afternoon on Sunday. After that, we dry out and we're back to 78 by next Wednesday.
Elizabeth, thanks. A Clayton man charged with peeping at a Target in Greenville is facing more charges. We showed you the video yesterday of a woman confronting Thomas Elliott for using his phone to record a video under a shopper's dress. She was another shopper who recorded him doing that. After Greenville police reviewed Target security video, they charged Elliott with 2 additional counts of secret peeping. He is in the Johnston County Jail on a $20,000 bond.
Dreamville Festival organizers teamed up with a nonprofit to help train people on how to use a life-saving tool. The nonprofit, This Must Be the Place, trained festival goers on how to respond to fentanyl overdoses and passed out Narcan. 1,700 people signed up for the 3-minute training and are now ready to help someone in need.
They know they might be around somebody. They might just be fed up with hearing about fentanyl overdoses, and now they're willing to do something, or they're just people that truly care.
And this kind of training at festivals gives staff the chance to reach tons of people at once, and afterward, those trained might even save a life. Well, some Disneyland workers are fighting for better working conditions and pay. Around 1,700 employees are taking steps to achieve union recognition from Disney. These are parade and character actors who say their working conditions are unsustainable. Some workers say they have been permanently injured on the job. Others complain of being told they're not replaceable. They are replaceable, not being allowed full-time hours, and not being paid when rain disrupts shifts.
We are the performers, storytellers, and entertainers that create the magic of Disneyland. Every day, characters and parades cast members are the face and voice of the Walt Disney Company, and we deserve to be treated that way.
If the union were formed, it would be part of the Actors Equity Association.
The Sundance Film Festival may be moving out of Utah. Park City has hosted the Independent Film Showcase for more than 40 years. It will continue to be the host for the next 2 years, but festival officials, including founder Robert Redford, say they're exploring other options. They're expected to make a decision by early next year.
Red Lobster is having financial troubles. The company is reportedly looking into filing for bankruptcy protection. There are several reasons for that, including the cost of its leases and labor. But the $11 million Red Lobster recently lost on its endless shrimp deal hasn't helped. Sources say the chain has not decided if it's going to file for bankruptcy yet.
Amazon's cashierless technology could be coming to more brick and mortar stores. Amazon says it will add the shopping technology in more third-party stores, despite previously announcing it will reduce the use of that technology in its own grocery stores. About 140 locations currently use the Just Walk Out system. Amazon plans on doubling that number this year.
In Wisconsin, a second chance at prom. University of Wisconsin-Madison senior class officers hosted a prom for students that didn't get one in 2020. The majority of college students who graduate this spring were high school seniors when COVID-19 hit. Gracie Nelson is the university's senior class president, and she said they wanted to do something special for the soon-to-be graduates, so they decided to give them their very own prom.
I think you don't even realize how much you've lost until you watch like the freshmen and you're like, oh my gosh, we didn't get any of that.
More than 800 people got tickets to this event.
TikTok will begin restricting users who repeatedly post content it deems problematic. Beginning May 17th, topics like extreme fitness and dieting, conspiracy theories, and sexually suggestive material will not be promoted on the For You feed. Users will still be able to post videos about those topics, but it will only be seen by their followers or if you visit their page. This comes after TikTok updated its community guidelines after it was criticized for promoting harmful and offensive content.
The National Recording Registry has 25 new songs added to its list. The Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die, ABBA's Arrival, Blondie's Parallel Lines, and Green Day's Dookie were among the 25 recordings the Library of Congress named as audio treasures. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was among the nominees. Comedy also joined the musical works with Lily Tomlin's 1971 comedy album, This Is a Recording. The new titles bring the total number of songs selected for the National Recording Registry to 650.
An Oscar-nominated actress announces her debut album, the biopic of a legendary crooner is in the works, and more. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
Hudson's Glorious release date, a hit rom-com on Broadway, and Scorsese's new projects in the Hollywood Nation. Martin Scorsese may bring the life story of a legendary crooner to the screen. According to Variety, the filmmaker plans to direct a Frank Sinatra biopic with longtime collaborator Leonardo DiCaprio portraying Old Blue Eyes and Jennifer Lawrence as Sinatra's second wife and actress Ava Gardner. Scorsese has yet to receive approval from Sinatra's estate to make the film. Variety also reports that Scorsese is looking to independently finance and direct Life of Jesus and is eyeing Andrew Garfield and Miles Teller to star in the project.
These people aren't just rich, they're crazy rich.
Crazy Rich Asians is heading to Broadway. A musical adaptation of the hit 2018 rom-com is being developed by Warner Brothers, with the film's director John M. Chu on board to direct. The production marks Chu's Broadway directorial debut. He took In the Heights from stage to screen and is currently helming Universal's two-part Wicked film adaptation. I'm standing in front of you, baby. Kate Hudson has a full album on the way. The Oscar-nominated actress turned singer announced Glorious will be out May 17th and teased it with the release of her new track, Gonna Find Out. The tune follows her previously released singles, Talk About Love and Live Forever. I will watch and wistful wonder.
Wow. That was Ashley Dvorkin reporting.
Beautiful voice. I was just telling Renee, I didn't know she sang.
And I remember when she guest starred on Glee. She's a triple threat. She can do it all.
She is, yeah.
R&B singer Ashanti has a hit song named Baby, and now she's having a baby of her own with rapper Nelly.
Yeah, the singer posted the announcement to Instagram yesterday. In the video, she said she was going to need about 9 months to get ready for a performance. The couple dated for 10 years in the early 2000s before breaking up. They reunited after a Versus live performance during the pandemic. So congratulations to them. That's exciting.
Yeah, Ashanti's in her early 40s. This will be her first crack at motherhood, and she's really looking forward to that chapter.
I love that. I love it. All right, well, Time is naming its 100 most influential people of 2024, and an NC native is on that list.
Yeah, Fantasia Barrino, who's from the Triad, was named one of Time's most influential artists. She had a breakout year after playing Celie in the latest film adaptation of The Color Purple. In an essay written by her Color Purple co-star, Taraji P. Henson said she sees big things for the American Idol winner, saying, quote, "The sky's the limit, well beyond the sky for her."
Oh, she's great. Love it. All right, before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.